This monologue was based on an interview with a woman who had a good experience with a man.
This is how I come to love my vagina. It's embarrassing because it's not politically correct. I mean, I know it should have happened in the bath with salt grains and you know, stuff from the Dead Sea. Enya playing. Me loving my woman's self. I know the story. You see, vaginas are beautiful. Our self-hatred is only the internalized repression and hatred of the patriarchal culture. It isn't real. Pussies unite. I know all of it, you see. Like, we've grown up in a culture where we were taught that fat thighs were beautiful. If we had grown up in a culture like that, you see, we'd all be pounding down milkshakes, eating Krispy Kremes, lying on our backs, spending our days thigh expanding. But we didn't grow up in that type of culture. I hated my thighs and I hated my vagina even more. I thought it was incredibly ugly. I was one of those women who had looked at it, and from that moment on, I wished I hadn't, because it made me sick. I pitied anyone who had to go down there. In order to survive, I had to pretend there was something between my thighs. I imagined furniture, cozy futons with light cotton comforters, little velvet settees, leopard rugs, or pretty things, silk handkerchiefs, quilted pot holders, or place settings. I got so accustomed to this that I lost all memory of having a vagina. Whenever a man was inside of me, I pictured him inside of a mink-lined muffler or Chinese bow. Ooh. But then I met Bob. Bob was the most ordinary man I ever met. He was thin and tall and nondescript. He wore khaki, tan clothes. Bob did not like spicy foods or he wouldn't even listen to Prince. He had no interest in sexy lingerie. In the summer, he spent time in the shade. He did not share his inner feelings, and he did not have any problems or issues, and he wasn't even an alcoholic. He wasn't very funny or articulate or mysterious. He wasn't mean or unavailable. He wasn't self-involved or charismatic. He didn't drive fast either. I didn't particularly like Bob. But you see, I would have missed him altogether if he hadn't picked up my change that I dropped on the deli floor. And when he handed me back my quarters and my pennies, and his hand accidentally touched mine, something happened. You see, I went to bed with him. And that's when the miracle happened. Hear me? Turned out that Bob loved vaginas. He was a connoisseur. He loved the way they felt, the way they tasted, the way they smelled. But most importantly, he loved the way they looked. He had to look at them. The first time we had sex, he told me he had to see me. Whew, I'm right here, I said. No, you, he said, I have to see you. Turn on the light. I said, thinking, what? Turn on the light? Thinking he was a weirdo and somebody freaking out in the dark. Oh, but he turned on the light. And then he said, okay, I'm ready to see you. Right here. Hey, right here, I'm right here. Then he began to undress me. What are you doing, Bob? I said. He said, I need to see you. No need, I said. Just do it. Just do it. No, I need to see what you look like, he said. But you've seen a red leather couch before, I said to him. But you see, Bob continued on. He wouldn't stop. And I wanted to just throw up and die. You see, this is awfully intimate. I said, can't you just do it? No, he said, it's who you are. I need to look. I held my breath. But you see, Bob looked and looked and looked and looked. And he got breathy. And his face changed. He didn't look ordinary anymore. He looked like a hungry beast. You're so beautiful. He said, you're elegant and deep and innocent and wild. You saw that there? It was like he read my palm. Whoa. I saw that, he said, and much more. Ooh. He stayed looking for almost an hour, as if he was studying a map, observing the moon, staring into my eyes. But it was my vagina. In the light, I watched him looking at me, and he was so genuinely excited, so peaceful and euphoric. I began to get wet and turned on. I began to see myself the way he saw me. I began to feel beautiful and delicious, like a great painting or a waterfall. Bob wasn't afraid. He wasn't grossed out. I began to swell, began to feel proud. Yes, I did. Began to love my vagina. And Bob lost himself there. I was there with him. In my vagina. And we were both gone there together. Bob.